Why don't you do it?
Cold open like a motherfucker. Welcome to Couch on Fire, the dad podcast, where everything's on fucking fire. I think everything's gonna catch on fire.
Oh my. The things I endure.
Oh yeah. Oh, unprofessional, Alex. Unprofessional.
Oh man.
It's episode 2. Let me hit the
Nice.
timer here. There we go.
Let's do this. Well, hello
It's on the
there.
clock.
Oh God.
Yeah. Talk about professionalism, huh, Rob?
Okay.
Huh?
I'm sorry. Hey, you want to hear a funny? You want to hear a funny story?
Hit me with that anecdote.
So, like, I know me and you've been talking about doing a podcast for a while, and I think it's great. This is actually the second time I've did a podcast. I used to, back in 8th grade, well, 9th grade, I did a podcast with one of our friends that we know, and it was okay. I think at the time, like he was really big into this. There was this program on the computer called Acid Pro, where you can take songs and you can just take out the words and just kind of edit. Like he was editing music left and right. He had his own studio. He was trying to be his own musician, so he was editing all these cool things. And he was like, "Hey, Rob, you want to just talk?"
Was that Brian
Sean.
Banford?
Sean Span.
I definitely should not have said a full name.
It's okay. Hey, Brian.
How's it going, Brian? How's it going, Sean?
I haven't
Guys,
talked to either one of them in a while. That's weird.
Didn't Sean
but-
get big there for a minute?
Yeah, exactly. Like, so he
Who
had
the
his
fuck
like
is
own
he-
little.
Who was he attached to? What band was that?
He was the lead singer to I the Breather. It was like some some Christian hardcore band. And you know, I looked at it like this. Like I listened to a couple of his songs. I mean, he mostly just did screaming. He didn't really like sing.
Yeah, Christians
but
and
I-
screaming, hand in hand.
But I will say this: it's kind of cool that he has his own Pandora station, and I can look his band up on Spotify. That's pretty cool.
You can look me up on Spotify.
Oh, I can.
Pinstripe the DJ.
Oh yeah. Okay.
What the fuck, man?
Wait.
I'm on
We're back to the
Spotify too,
story.
prick.
We're back to the story.
Okay.
Basically, what we were doing. So we would he would make some sounds and make some music and stuff like that, and I would just talk about gossip that's happening in the high school. So he had his own little. He was DJ Spitfire. Yeah, really original. I know. I think we tried to skateboard and stuff, and Spitfire. You know.
That's the
He was
wackest thing I've ever heard.
But the funny thing is, I wanted a name and I couldn't figure out a name. So I was watching a documentary on hip hop, and there's this guy named Heavy D, and I was like, man, I'm a fat guy, so my name was Heavy R, like caviar.
There. Heavy on
So,
like
yeah.
caviar.
Caviar, bam, just like that. And I think we recorded 2 episodes. We put it on MySpace because at the time MySpace just came out and it was pretty dope.
It
and
was the
that was
thing.
it. That was the so. Yeah, I mean, we tried this little podcast thing. We both went our separate ways. I went that way, he went this way, and he made it big, and I became a father. And now, he's a father now too. But you know, that was
News to me. I hope he's doing okay.
yeah. He's
I bear no ill will.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't really talk to him too much, but yeah. So that was my first attempt to really do podcasts. I've been wanting to do podcasts forever. One of my dreams, which is one of the things I would love to talk about, is like I always wanted to be a disc jockey, and I thought about it growing up. But the problem with being a disc jockey for myself was I had a speech impediment, and I still pronounce things bad. I mean, when you grow up from an area where
Poorly.
you're saying, yeah, see, poorly, see, like I just yeah. Thank you for correcting every fucking thing that I say.
I work in quality. It's what I do. I correct things.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
No, it's
But
no, it's not.
but this is all I wanted to do is this big podcast. It's just because I love talking. I love just doing stuff. So this is awesome. So I'm excited, and I wanted to ask you because this is something I don't know about you. I've known you since in case anybody didn't know, me and Alex, I've known him since I think 5th grade.
Yep.
He sat next to me because our last names start with the same 2 fucking letters.
HA and
And-
HA.
Yep. Ha! Ha! We should have named the podcast. We should have named the podcast. Ha ha. Yeah, I wanted to know,
Dad
like,
jokes don't get any better than this.
what was your dreams? What did you want to do? When you were young, what was the thing that you just wanted to do?
The head of an archaeology department at a museum.
Okay,
I wanted to have
that's
done
awesome.
Some field research. I wanted to be done with that, and handling the anthropology section of a museum, the anthropologist archaeology section of a museum, and be like, this is what man was like in the Neolithic, and that whole thing.
So basically, like, what is his name from Friends? Have you ever seen Friends, the TV show?
No, fuck Ross.
Well, what did Ross do? Didn't he do that?
It was archaeology. I don't think it was anthropological archaeology,
Okay.
though. It might have been. I fuck if I goddamn know.
Yeah,
It's
well,
been
fuck
so
him.
long.
Yeah.
He was just such a drab character.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Unwarranted comparison.
Well, listen, okay.
Hey, you listen here, guy.
Well, I didn't know that about you. That's crazy. I never knew that you wanted to do that. That's something. Honestly, if someone was like, "Hey, Rob, what do you think Alex would want to do? Like, what was his dream job?" That's not exactly what I would think it would.
What would you thought?
I honestly thought for the longest time that you were going to be a DJ that travels the world.
Fuck that.
I really
But I
did.
hate
I don't know,
travel.
because you like from.
I like
You know,
being places. I hate traveling.
Yeah. Why do you hate
Planes,
traveling?
Cars, TSA, the whole thing is
Oh.
it's a fucking logistical nightmare. I like being other places. I don't like the act of getting there.
Too bad we can't just like bam. Sorry, I get sidetracked sometimes. ADHD, it's a bitch.
Little instant transmission, yeah. Dragon Ball Z
Yeah.
reference. Whoa, nerds.
But I mean, yeah, I always thought that you would be a DJ because I remember in high school, like I didn't really see you too much because I had a high school sweetheart and she consumed my soul.
I was
But
generous,
besides that, yeah, well, now we're dropping names, huh? Big names.
Big
yeah.
names.
So, but anyway, so I was in that relationship and like I didn't really get to see you too much, but I did know that you were like, so into music and you were so into creating music and
I'm
just,
still making music.
you're still doing it. Exactly. So like, if someone would ask me, that's what I thought you would be. So
Nah.
did you think that I wanted to be a disc jockey? What did you think that I would do?
Probably right along those lines. Some kind of talk radio or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife hates talk radio. She hates it.
There's a lot wrong with talk radio.
She doesn't like when people talk. She doesn't listen to podcasts. She's just kind of like, eh.
I mean, we are kind of the problem with talk radio right now.
Yeah, I know.
Let that dead silence endure. Shh. We're the
Moment of
problem with
silence.
talk radio.
Momo silence, please. Is it 4 fingers? I think it's 4 fingers.
What are you
I don't know,
doing? What are you doing? No gang
Remember the
signs.
silence? Remember the no? Remember the silence? Like what was that? In elementary school, was it 4 fingers, 3 fingers, or was it the shocker? 2 in the pink.
Wasn't it? Wasn't it the peace sign?
No, the be quiet. Oh, maybe it was, but you closed them together.
I thought it was
Oh
open.
man,
Gotta open those
there's a
legs,
lot.
Rob. That's a visual gag. It's not. You're not picking up on it all. Jesus Christ. You'll see it in post.
Yeah, pretty much. I got you. West side.
There's the
So.
gang signs.
Yeah, there it is.
White
But no, I just
people.
I think this is one of my biggest dreams, and I'm glad to do this. I think I did have another dream, which I kind of started pursuing, which was the whole business thing. I always wanted to. My grandfather told me something when I was really young. Right, he said, don't work for the man, be the man. And it's always resident in my brain. I always think about that. I always think about it, marinate it, and I just like, So I always try my best to not work for the man. And as I say this now, I'm working for the man. And I know you work for the man.
I just bought in to be corporate. Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm no longer a grunt. I can't say I work for a living anymore. It's weird. I run reports and fucking analyze data. The fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Honestly,
Well-
like one of the things I'm really good at for some reason.
Well, I mean, like, do you think this is it for you? Do you think that's
no.
like, that is it? This is like, okay.
Not even a little bit.
Well, what's next? What's next for you? What's
I don't know.
next? You don't know?
I'm working on the book. I'm writing a nonfiction right now.
Yeah.
That is literally like, hey, maybe rights come with responsibilities inherently. Maybe don't be an asshole. That's a good start to ensuring everyone gets their chance at their rights. And simultaneously, as every right confers its responsibility onto those around those exercising their rights, the inverse is equally accurate. So, like, you have the freedom to speech, but you also have the right to silence.
Yeah.
Inherently, in every possible right you could have, and actually call it a right rather than a privilege, you inherently carry the converse. So the silence versus speech thing. You can say what you want to say, by all means. I'd prefer you weren't an asshole, but I will defend your right to be an asshole. In that same vein, you also have the right to shut the fuck up. By all means, like, just if you don't want to say anything, don't. That's your right as well. Every right inherently carries with it its converse. At the very least, because you can sign a contract saying, no, I'm not going to exercise that right.
Okay.
And sign it away. And that's not the only reason. Like, it's inherent to the idea of rights themselves, and I'm trying to discuss that whole idea, break it down like Barney style for people, because America has seemed to have lost the script right now. The left
my
and right
God.
are at each other's throats. It's a fucking anybody's game right now.
Dude, like,
The game is
I don't-
tied and it's in overtime. That's where we're at right now.
I just, like, sometimes I want to go to other countries and just see America from outside of America. Just see,
suck.
like, what they think.
We suck.
To see, I know we suck. We suck at a lot of things. We suck at education. We suck at
No.
You know,
not,
we have
not even just
bad-
in the statistic sense. Like,
Yeah.
we're
Oh, okay.
assholes. We this whole nation building bullshit. Fuck. What did they say? Fuck. Nation building is a good enough euphemism.
Yeah.
It's go in, topple a government, replace it with a puppet regime. The puppet regime goes rogue, and then for some reason we say, "Hey, let's rinse and repeat. We'll fund this rebel group to topple that government, and when they go rogue, we'll do the same thing and rinse and repeat. And nobody's allowed to be sovereign and dictate what their country and their territory does or is. Like, America has no concept of letting people and nations be sovereign unto themselves. Like, they answer to their people rather than some stupid ass international body that has no enforcement authority at all.
Yeah. Well, do you ever think that, like, you know, we're still technically a young country, that we're still working out the
Oh
kinks?
yeah, no,
you ever
we
think- no.
are pre-adolescent still.
Yeah.
Like, we are achieving our adolescence as, like, in that social broad macro sense, as a nation and a state, in capital S state, I guess, sense now. Like, we're running into that hurdle now. We see that with the civil unrest that's occurring on both sides. Antifa, the alt-right, the alt-light offshooting from the alt-right, because, like, whoa, we like really far-right stuff, but, like, that actual white supremacy is a bit too far for us. Like
Oh, yeah.
those people, Gavin McGinnis et al. That's going to be your Milo, your Jones, your Paul Joseph Watson, that cast of characters, because they are fucking characters. Like,
Yeah.
I would include Ben Shapiro in that group, but there's more depth to Ben Shapiro's opinions than that. I've been paying a lot of attention to the underground, right? Not your Fox News neoconservative, not them, because the neocons and the neoliberals are phasing out. Like they're gone. That's a matter of time. They're not in control of the mainstream anymore. Ninja on Twitch gets more viewership than Fox, CNN, and MSNBC. Like, it's just, they're not mainstream. I'm sorry. You're televised, sure. That doesn't make you mainstream. More viewership occurs online. So,
Well, you know, like
Oh,
not
go,
to interrupt
go,
you,
go.
but
Go,
but basically,
Run.
one thing that I'm thinking about is like what you were just saying. Like I just internet killed television. Like internet's
Twice.
killing the TV. Like so my whole, you know, like I get my news from various websites. I get my news on my phone. I get my news elsewhere. I don't really watch television for news. I watch television for the entertainment. I'm a sucker for reality shows. I've always been a sucker. I know it's pointless.
That's why most people watch the news, is for the entertainment value. That's why they
Yeah.
still go to the TV.
Oh, yeah. Well, I might watch local news because you know there's always hot chicks on there, so that's pretty cool.
Hey yo,
What's up
Been
with
saying-
that Mexican weather lady?
Oh, I don't know. I don't live in Baltimore.
No. She's a weather lady in Mexico.
Oh,
And
oh, she undresses. Oh, yeah.
no, not that one. Not that one.
Oh, damn.
She gets scanty on the IG and the Snapchat.
Oh,
She is beautiful.
she got that big.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
No, she is beautiful.
And,
she
and
is.
from what I hear, she's like fucking mega intelligent as well. Like, I'm so jealous of those people. Good for her.
Well, see, like,
Fucking good for her. I'm ugly as
That's-
shit.
I mean, that's pretty much how they get the ratings. The news, like they just talk about mediocre shit that's happening, and they just put hot people on the news. That's
Yes.
all they, that's what they,
Oh,
you know, they used to, you remember back in the day,
Sex
if you
sells.
watch CNN, yeah, you watch CNN, they're just sitting behind a desk. Now their desk is like, you can see the side of their leg. You can see what dress they're wearing. You can see everything's
Here's
going on.
the
They're walking.
ticker. Here's a side ticker over here. Here's another
Yeah.
ticker on this side. Like,
Yeah.
inundated with this ridiculous information that they're not talking about at all.
No.
And just
No.
pretty face.
I get up.
Megyn Kelly.
I get up.
Megyn Kelly. Beautiful woman. Mega intelligent as well. Nobody pays attention to what she says.
No.
Large
she could-
portion of the time, she's really, really keen, but she's a little further left than she needs to be sensible.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
a little more ideological than she needs to be. But a beautiful face. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, she's our front runner for years and years and years. It's just,
I know. I
maybe-
agree. I agree 100%. I feel like, I like recently I tried to turn on the news to see what the hell's going on in Israel. And all they're talking about is something stupid that Donald Trump said. And it's always some hot girl talking about it. Like,
I can't even say the vast majority of these beautiful people that are in these positions are stupid or anything. These people really are intelligent. They would not have gotten to the position that they're in if they weren't intelligent. But they're just intelligent enough to regurgitate and value their income and their familial stability that comes from that income to, I'm not going to ask too many hard questions. I'm going to give you some
Yeah.
softballs.
it's
And
just-
let them do
that-
them. That's acceptable. Let them do that. That's their choice to make, by all means. I want to know how fucked up Israel and Palestine are both being to each other.
God.
Like,
Do we get involved? Like,
No.
what would you do if you're leader and commander of this country? Do we get involved?
If I was commander in chief, I'm
Yeah.
bringing everybody home. Period.
Yeah.
Full stop. I don't care what we're engaged in. I don't care that the CIA literally has guns to my family's heads.
Yeah.
As is the fucking case right now, and has been forever. That's why we've never elected a childrenless leader. We should try that and see how much differently the country is ran, because there's no collateral that can be engaged in with the CIA. Just saying. However, light conspiracy theory aside, everybody needs to come home. There's no reason for us to be involved in any of these other countries and their sovereign decisions unto themselves. Like, let these asshole Israelis be assholes. Let the Palestinians, excuse me,
Palestinians.
be assholes to their heart's content. Let them fuck each other up. I don't care. That's their business. It's not ours.
When
It's
was
none
the
of our
transition?
business.
No, I agree. When was the transition that? When did this happen? Where us as Americans feel like we have to be in
World War
everybody's kitchen?
World War
One. We have to be in
World War
everyone's
One.
kitchen because of World War One.
That was the transition period. So there was still a lot of the contingent where that's not our business occurring during World War One, and Woodrow Wilson had to coax us in to that war, and we got a seat at the table, at the negotiating table, and he tried to push the League of Nations on everybody, which is an absurd fucking authoritarian nightmare.
Meanwhile, the Legion of Nations. I'm sorry.
That's why it was not long lived. Like, it fell apart rather quickly because it was non-binding. There was no authority for enforcement. There was nothing. But it created the seed of the idea for the UN, where those things are actually taking place. There's still no enforcement authority in place with the UN, and a large portion of Europe is trying to change that, which I find to be insane. But let them have their ideas, and we'll have ours. That said, like, World War One was we can start, like, world affairs are going to affect us, so we should participate in them at that position. And we were kind of half in, half out up until World War II, when Britain was like, no, really, we're fucking dying. We need you here now. So we let Pearl Harbor happen to pull us into the war because it was a homeland attack. Got involved in the Europe and the Asian campaigns. We didn't really have we didn't make a big impact on the European campaign at all. That was mostly Britain and France. But we did help. We helped them. We were subsidiary to that on those campaigns. But Asia, and to an infinitely lesser extreme, the African campaign.
Well,
we slammed it home in the Asian campaigns, and we had no business.
Listen,
push back the fascists,
America.
but
we're America.
Stop that.
Listen,
that's exactly why people hate us.
listen,
Linda, listen.
We're America.
Linda, listen.
Linda.
No, you listen.
No, I mean, I see how people, but I feel like, okay, so, I'm naive to politics. I try to stay out of it, but I think it's fascinating that we do have our fingers in every single pot around in the world, and I agree with you 100%. We should not, but it's one of those things where maybe as the young country that we are, maybe it's a sign. Maybe in our minds, it's a sign of weakness that we're not involved. Maybe if we, we sat back and just said, okay, you do what you want to do.
We try to get involved. That's the thing. It's one of those, if you got to say it, it ain't true.
Yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if you don't get involved, we can look like fucking Canada. No one wants to look like Canada, eh?
No, we would look like Switzerland. And while Switzerland is the butt of a few jokes, everybody respects their banks.
That's true. They are very intelligent there. I think they're like number one in
Yeah, because they have the money to spend on education.
That's a whole
And
nother
good
topic
for
for
them
a
on
whole
that.
nother day.
No,
It's
good
like-
for them on that. But we are not in that same position. We are trillions of dollars just missing to the DoD for no fucking reason, and we don't know where the money is. We have no fucking concept of where that money went. Not even the faintest. Like black programs and like off the books type CIA and NHS like off the record programs, like they're gonna exist and they're gonna soak up maybe up to $1 billion. Okay. When we start pushing into like 6 billion, 200 billion, 3.3 trillion, 210 fuck trillion, that's when we have a problem. You know?
You want to know where that money's at? It's actually right over here. You want to go look at it?
I fucking wish. I fucking wish it was right there.
Dude, how much that amount of money would probably fill up my house? I'm trying to think like
No,
how much
no.
that amount of money in a room.
You can't have that much money in a room. You can't have that
Well,
much money in a house. It would literally take a warehouse, using $1 bills, of course. It
yeah.
would take a warehouse to shelve $1 billion. And it's not
And
a
that-
tiny warehouse either, like a fucking mega Amazon shipping center kind of warehouse. To house
See, now you
$1
got me.
billion.
Now you got me thinking about $1 billion. I wish I had $1 billion. No.
It's like four
dude,
pallets to have $1 million.
Is it
In
really?
singles? Yeah, because the growth is so stupid. It's banking is a fucking nightmare. Let me put it to you that way.
So somehow this episode came about with politics and a whole bunch of cool stuff. But one more thing,
Yeah.
lightly. But
Dancing
one more
across the
thing,
edges.
I definitely wanted to ask you: do you think Trump will run again, or you think he's just for and done?
Oh no, there's no way. No, he's too much of an egotist not to run again.
You think so? I see. My opinion is 'cause
Don't get me
I
wrong.
recently.
I think the GOP is going to put up fighters. They're going to try
Oh,
to
no, I
overthrow
know.
him
Oh, yeah.
from within the GOP, but he's going to run again. Don't get that twisted. Like he's such an egotist that he's going to run again. If the
See,
GOP
I just
was
feel like
smart. They
I
would
just
pick
feel like
somebody else.
he's the type of guy that I just feel like he's the type of guy that conquers and then moves on. So I just feel like he just did something that he's always wanted to do and then moved on because he wanted to run in the early 90s. He wanted to run in the early 2000s, but he just kind of pulled away from it. So it's kind of like one of those things where I just feel like he's just doing it because he hasn't did it, and this is like a new chapter for him. And now I just feel like I don't know. I like Trump. So don't get me wrong. I
I'm
don't
not
want to
as
sit
big
here
as
and bash.
fan. I'm not as big as
You
fan.
know,
I will sing his praises where they are due. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I will give credit in that
Yeah.
regard. I'm not a dick about that.
I hate to say this, but I actually read his biography like years ago. Before all this stuff, and obviously back in the 60s and 70s. I mean, this guy was like something. 80s, he started getting really big, but then that's when his cockiness started coming. Once he built Trump Towers, he became a fucking asshole to people, and
No, that
he
was always
realized.
present. That was always there.
I
Because
get-
he
maybe
had
it
the
was,
position
it
of
just didn't
authority
show.
to justify it. That was the thing. There
Yeah,
was my dick is obviously bigger than yours.
yeah.
Fuck you.
Well,
Look at him.
he adored his family. He loved his father. He loved his brother who died from fucking being an alcoholic. He loved all these things, and then as soon as that happened as soon as the 80s happened, bam, and then he started opening casinos and he went bankrupt, and then somehow he
He
got
didn't go
tax
bankrupt.
breaks out the.
It wasn't he went bankrupt. He bankrupted specific companies that are within his proprietorship.
Yeah.
In the effort to dissolve them, because they were taking in heavy losses, and to keep them would have been to hemorrhage money for no fucking reason. So he filed
Okay.
bankruptcy. That has garnered him tax breaks since, because those were in such heavy liability. Why would you not take advantage of those tax benefits?
Oh, he's been getting tax breaks since the late 70s.
Because of that first
But-
because of that first bankruptcy, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
and
that's
it's an
disgraceful.
absurd system that allows it to happen. Can I just say, People freak out like, oh God, you're racist when you say this, but that's an absurd fucking statement. If anything, it's classist, but it's not. And I'll justify this here in the teal deer, but a flat tax. Everybody pays 15%. Corporations pay 20%. You're done. No exceptions. Maybe under 50K, you don't have to pay taxes. If your gross annual income is not 50K, then you don't have to pay taxes. That's the only exception. Everything else is 15% for people, 20% for corporations. And if anybody says, why aren't the corporations taxed at the same rate? Because corporations aren't fucking people. I can't invite corporations to my fucking birthday party. They don't have to deal with the uncomfortable goddamn nature of, oh God, that coworker just died. It's not a person. Fuck you. It doesn't have rights. It's a collective.
Technically, you could invite a whole corporation to your birthday party. There'll just be a lot of people.
It's a collective. You're dead on. That demonstrates exactly the quality.
It's a whole group of people. Yeah,
it's not a person, and therefore, as every person has their own individual rights, a collective should not have rights unto themselves, ever. And that's actually a wrap for episode 2.
Wow!
I didn't. That was a ride.
Was good.
That was a weird end note and episode in general, but fuck it, let's ride.
I love it. That's awesome. I can't wait.
Holy shit. Oh, we got a Marco. Marco, come here.
What was that?
Come here. Marco. You see? Oh, and the dog. Dublin's here too.
Oh my gosh.
He ran off. We're recording a podcast, bud.
Okay.
Amen.
Dude, ask him. He's got to record the intro. That's what has to happen.
The couch is on fire. What was I supposed to say?
All right, and on that note, we are signing off.